Hello. I am so excited to be live with you guys today on a Friday. I love the Friday live streams. It just feels like it has just an exciting tone to it because obviously it's the end of the week. And the weekend is definitely needed to recharge. So, welcome to the live recording of the Are You Green podcast. I will go ahead and click record and we'll get started. Hello, traders and friends. Today is Friday, November 13th, 2020. Welcome to the Are You Green podcast. I have to first say happy Diwali. It's such a beautiful holiday, so I hope those that are celebrating are having a good time despite the restrictions this year. It is really interesting for all of our US listeners to know that India actually has a very robust stock market. And it's so exciting to watch all the time. People are very active in the stock market in India. And then they can also, as we mention all the time, trade on the New York Stock Exchange as well. So big shout out to all the Indian traders out there. I know you guys are killing it. Today, the SPY opened up at 355.30. Right now, it's sitting around 357.50. Is it green? Yes, it is green, up 1.2%. The XLK, the technology indicator, you guys know I trade a lot of tech stocks. I'd love to, always keep an eye on the XLK. It opened today at 121.09 and it's up about 0.6%. It's actually trading right now around 120.96, but still green for the day. And of course, the $1 million question, are you green? Yes, I am green in my personal accounts. It's been a really great week, and we'll go over some of my personal trades today, as well as what the trade of the week is. We'll also be talking about the earnings news, the top movers. We've got some really exciting tickers to talk about. And then, of course, my personal swing trade that I just entered in with Tesla, selling DKNG, and finally selling fastly. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll take a short break and then dive into it. Awesome. So as you guys know on the live recording, it's a bit awkward because I have to take a minute to complete the segments on Anchor. Obviously, I don't get paid for this ad, but Anchor is an amazing platform for hosting a podcast. It makes it really easy. So with that being said, let's dive into the next segment. The news this morning turned out to be good news for me. Finally, Draftkings has released some good earnings, and the trade had a positive movement today. I really needed this. You guys know the past few weeks, I stopped talking about my swing trade with Draftkings. The ticker is DKNG because it was doing so badly. And I think on one of the episodes, it'd be so funny if I could figure out how to put clips into the podcast from previous episodes. But one of the episodes I was talking about how I don't even want to mention DraftKings anymore because it's, down 20%. And yes, I'm holding. So, sometimes you've got to just put those things aside. But today I was able to cash a little in on the earnings report. It was also interesting that there was some concern over Tesla today, and the stock did drop. But overall, today, all of the sectors for the S&P 500 have been trading up, have been higher. Just yesterday, I reported that all of those sectors were lower. So, just keep in mind, there's always going to be this rise and fall of the stock market, which makes it so exciting for us to profit from those big moves. Going right into the big movers, we have BIGC, BIGC. It has dropped today 8.8%. I did see this one off the open, but I decided not to enter into this swing trade. There was too much going on, honestly, this morning, and it wasn't the type of movement that really took precedent over these other trades. So that's why I didn't go into it. NIO actually went down 7%. This stock has been gapping or has been trading up higher. So it was due for this little pullback. But I think that probably next week we'll see another gain in it. But again, I try not to predict the future, even though sometimes I feel like I know with the chart patterns, but just watching the market, looking at the charts and reacting to what the market is doing is going to give you a better result. So the last loser I want to talk about today is Peloton. PTON. It is down over 7%. There is a weekly pivot around 100.25, and that's kind of where it's been trading today. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Is it going to bounce back up? In which case, I'll just kind of ignore it for a moment. If it continues to go down past 100, to me, that is signaling a good opportunity to buy, because there are a lot of stacked pivots down near the $93 range. So I would probably start a swing trade on it at 94.38. So that's kind of my price to watch. But again, I'm not going to do something before it happens. We got to watch what happens first. So I am going to keep an eye on this chart though, and see what happens, at this pivotal level around 125. And who knows, there might be a good swing in our future next week. So stay tuned. The three stocks that I wanted to call out that have moved up today are Fisker, FSR, moved up 15%. Again, I'm just going to watch it next week to see if, there are some there's a dramatic drop that I can profit off of from this gain. PDD is up 12.4%. I love trading PDD. It's one of my favorite tickers. There's always big movement, volume, huge price action. So you can really make a profit there. So because it made it on my top movers list at, moving up 12.4%, I'm going to watch it next week and see, if there's a point where it goes down to a good level for a buy and either a day or swing trade. So we'll keep an eye on that. Unity Software went up 12% today. I think that there's huge potential in this software. I've actually used it before. It's used for VR. So I was not surprised to see this move, but seeing such a dramatic move today, that means that other people are, seeing the value in this stock. They came out with really good earnings. So I'm going to watch it next week to see if there's any, fall for some reason. And if I can buy at those levels for, like, if it does a quick drop, I'll execute a buy and then, save it for a long swing. So we'll see what happens next week. But that is all for the news that everyone's talking about, the top movers, the stock to watch for next week. In a moment, we'll talk about my personal trades with DKNG, Tesla, and Fastly. Awesome. So I stopped that segment for the podcast, added some background music, as you guys probably hear if you listen to podcasts. It's available on Apple, Spotify, and across the board. Anchor, just pushes it out to all of these, podcast spots. So I actually do need to take a second and look at the number for my personal trade. So I feel like when you watch the podcast live with me, you get some of these extra tidbits. So I definitely want to talk about my trade with Draftkings. And I need to, write down the numbers and make sure that that I have it here. So, okay, so I have the numbers in front of me. It does look like Draftkings has dropped for the day. So I'm glad I made those sells in the morning. And let's go ahead and start the podcast and clue everyone into the convo that we're having. Welcome back. I just had a little update with the live stream for Are You Green? For you, those of you listening to the podcast, I do go live on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm also getting a lot of traction on the Are You Green podcast Instagram account. So be sure to look that up. Follow me. What's great about that is that you can DM me with questions or write comments to this little community that we're building. And then please feel free and actually please share this podcast with your family. I love talking stocks with my dad. I think it brings us closer together. And, when I was younger and I couldn't afford the Tesla stock for $400, I, asked my dad to buy it for me for a Christmas gift. So, engaging with trading with your family can be a really, really great thing. So please do share this podcast with everyone. And I really appreciate it. So diving into my personal trades, let's take a look at the DKNG. I was excited to see it pop up, and my orders that I had in did just get filled automatically. And that's something that is really great about swing trading, is that you can buy at the level you want, put in sell orders for the levels that you want, and then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to touch it. So when I, saw the news this morning about DKNG and their earnings, I knew I already have orders in. So I didn't even have to worry about that. It's really great. So my average for DKNG is 46.22. Sorry. I'm reading this as I go. So I sold about half for 26.22 this morning, and I made a 2.1 net gain. On swing trades, I do typically look for a little bit more. 2.5 to 3 is my goal. So 2.1 points is not the best on a swing trade. That's why this is definitely not my trade of the week, but I was happy to lighten this up. I am holding the rest of it for a pop up to 48. And obviously that's going to give me a much better return. I will buy more of this stock if it goes down to 40.42. So that's my next level there. I also entered into a swing trade today with Tesla. I love trading the Tesla stock. You guys know on the podcast, I talk about buying and selling all the time. So I did buy today, a really great level for 401.75. I'm really excited that my order got filled there. For a minute, it was looking like it wasn't going to get there. So I'm happy about that trade. I have no problem holding Tesla for a little while, since it might, take some time to get where I want it to go. Oh my gosh, I just checked the ticker right now and pulled up my chart, and it's already at 407. So really great. It does look like it held a perfect resistance right at that 401.50 level, where there's a weekly pivot. So, this pivot strategy, guys, it's the real deal. And, it's so nice that I had that resistance band in there. I knew to buy when it hit that level, and now I'm already seeing the bounce. If I was a day trader, I would sell right now at 407.54. The issue is that I have a small account, and under the pattern day trader regulation, I have to really limit myself on how many day trades I can make, because this is such a safe hold for me. Like, I have no problem holding this one overnight. I'm not going to waste one of my 3 allotted day trades in a 5-day trading period on this trade. So I am going to wait tomorrow. I, might be looking to sell at the 411 point, depending on what movement we see tomorrow. Or if I see it, really grinding up towards a higher level, then I might, hold off and sell this at 420. So I'm just going to wait and see what next week brings, but really glad that I grabbed that Tesla while I could, and excited for you guys to follow it with me. I did sell Fastly, so FSLY. I have been holding that for a while. As you guys know, I talked about just the fact that I know it's a good tech company and I don't mind holding it. It was down so low, but based on the chart, I knew that it wouldn't drop below 74. That was like my stop loss, and the drops have been fine, because it shot straight up today. So my average with this stock was 76.61. I first sold half at 79, making a 2.39 point gain. So close to my 2.5 swing goal. And then I sold the rest of it at 80. So I did make that 3.3 point gain at that level. So that was really exciting. And I'm glad that, that is off of my account, because I have been holding that through this insanity of the election period. And, it is nice for the ones that I'm holding for a longer time to finally leave my account. So I'm happy about that. Since it's Friday, when we come back, we're going to talk about my trade of the week. So that's the end of that segment for the podcast recording. What you guys get to see live is a look back at those stocks that I might consider calling my trade of the week. So we're going to add this to the podcast really quickly. And we're going to call this segment personal trades. Oh, I think that's something else really cool about Anchor. It adds like little segments. So when you're watching or listening, I guess, on Anchor, you can specifically choose the sections that you want to listen to. Anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and review some of the big trades this week that I've had. I am gonna, pull up my notes here. There's been a lot of really good ones. I could call my my D-Dog trade the trade of the week, although you guys know that was a mistake that went right. So that would be a funny one to call. Let's see what we had earlier on in the week. Let's see. So I could call so many great trades this week, actually. I did not even think. Let's go ahead on Monday. Oh, I know what trade we're going to call trade of the week. Okay, it's hard because Monday I had a lot of great trades. I had Groupon where I made 2.86 points. I had a trade with AYI where I made 5.52 points. I also had a huge trade with Beyond, BYND, that I made 13.84 points. So yeah, it is really hard to, call this trade of the week, but are you guys ready to hear it? The trade of the week is EA, Electronic Arts. Sorry, I almost fudged that. So Electronic Arts makes video games, and I am calling them as my trade of the week. My buy level was at 111.6. And I sold on Monday almost all of it. So I sold about 75% of my shares on Monday at 119.56 for a 7.96 gain. The reason why I want to call this my trade of the week and why I'm so happy about it is because, there have been many other days last week where I was talking about EA. So because, this has been a trade that I've been talking about to you guys, telling you guys that I'm excited about, getting filled at that level and then selling at a higher level. It's just really nice to see that, we all have that accountability, that this is something that I hyped up. And I hyped it up for a reason, because it was a really great buy at those levels. And obviously it was a really great sell on Monday. I do have a small piece of it left, and I believe my order to sell it is at 123.92. So I just read that straight from my TD Ameritrade Think or Swim app. So I am holding on for a little more movement up to that 123.92 level, and then I will sell that last piece for an even larger gain. So that is it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much to the live stream for those of you who are watching or maybe will watch this later. I am excited to look at what comes next week because since I've sold a lot, I have more capital to trade with. So stay tuned next week. The podcast does air Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I try to start recording around 12 and I try to get it published by the end of the bell or as soon as I can after. So thank you guys so much for listening. Please share, please follow, and do all of those things. And I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe. Great. Well, thank you guys again for watching the live stream. I'll be live streaming on Tuesday. So I will see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.